Hi Manny, just going to make you a video here of the Polymoog, and for anybody else that's watching that's interested in this video, this was a big undertaking, particularly for this Polymoog, because this was a parts unit, and I had another parts unit, and I basically just mashed them together to make a really nice Polymoog. And of course went through all the boards like I normally do in a restoration, replacing commonly failed components, doing upgrades where needed, and making this thing like it should be, so it's really reliable. So anyways, you can see I also cleaned the chassis real good. The whole thing came apart, got a good cleaning, flushed, lubed the sliders, got everything I normally do. You are missing two of the slider caps. I'm gonna put some on there. Just hadn't got to that yet. They're actually in a box right up there, so I gotta get my box down and get those sliders out for you. Those caps. But anyways, as you can see, I'm just gonna give you a walk around here of it and show you how nice and clean everything looks. It's a full keyboard rebuild, key alignment, gave it the works pretty much. Walk around back here and you can see the nice clean back panel here. You can see how clean it looks. And now one note is this is serial number 1637, but it actually has a lot of the guts from serial number 3166, so it's actually got some later production boards in it. And I did some upgrades to the earlier boards that need to be done to make it work well with the later boards. So it's got some of the stuff it needed for those boards as well. But anyways, as you can see, I'm running mix output, and just give you a good overview of the sound here and let you hear this thing. But I'm real impressed with it so far. It's done real good. I gave it 9 hours of burn-in over the weekend. And it held up very, very well, no problems. Checked the final calibration. Final calibration looks good. Did a few tweaks that it needed. And anyways, as you can hear, it sounds really good. I should go through the octave ranges here so we can. And actually what that is there, I'm actually shifting the footages of both the sawtooth and square wave. You got your mixers here, so this is just your sawtooth, no modulation. So that's just your sawtooth. And now we'll go just to the square wave. We'll actually go to no PWM. So this is just a 50% duty cycle square wave, no modulation. And what's cool about this, since it does have pulse width, you can actually change your pulse width. So 0 pulse. We can make that modulate. Same thing for the low end. You have basically you have pulse width adjust for the low octave, and then the middle and high are tied to one control here. So now. At the same time, we can also engage FM modulation. Something like that. Combine that with the sawtooth. you get something like that. So that's basically your oscillators in general. I'll show you that the sliders are nice and clean, no noise for any of the function. You got your resonator. There is a trick I like to do with the Polymoog. It's something that is really cool. You can actually detune your sawtooth. And I'll show you an example of this. I set the sawtooth to a 5th. And I set the square wave or pulse width down to a 16 footage. And then get this really nice rich sound, and then you combine that with the filter, which I got I'll set up a envelope for the filter. Open the emphasis, set the cutoff to about 5, and you get something like this right here, so that you'll hear the filter come in on top of the resonator. It's really cool sound. This is just your filter here. Of course, we can make that really poppy. What I like to do to make the filter like something like that just by setting the envelope for your loudness control and filter for a fast that you can hear. That's your envelope generator for the filter. We'll go here and set up modulation for your filter. So start here. So now you also got sample and hold. Let's turn that down, there we go. So you get something like that, and that's using your filter basically as a modulation with your filter controls and your envelope generator, as you've heard. Now we'll go through presets. So we'll go here through the mode filter, and this is preset 1. preset 2. It's like electric piano. Harpsichord. So you get something like that. Funk. And you got clavichord. Now you got Vox Humana. Of course, for the Gary Newman fans, you can still offset your oscillator tuning. So, instant Gary Newman. Of course, you got that low end. Of course, you got that classic Gary Newman sound. That was preset 7. Now preset 8 is a brass. So we can bring that volume up. Now some of these presets there got a lower volume. It's just kind of the nature of the beast on these things. I like to combine the oscillators because actually that's just a single sawtooth. When you add the pulse width to that. Of course, right now we're going to the mode filters, which is actually the fixed filter banks. If we go to direct, that is actually bypassing those. That's not what you'd have without going to the fixed filters that give you that sonic texture. And then when you go back 9, then you're back into the variation mode, which basically turns off all the presets and it looks at all these sliders instead. And you can see I've got that. And of course, we can also play with your envelope generator, or your loudness control generator. So we'll go here, we'll make like a... you can hear the dynamics of the keyboard. Something like that, so you can hear the dynamics. We can actually get this thing to where it's just a click, as you can see. And then you actually make this thing sustain for a very, very long time, which is something that no other synth really does. And then your sustain actually controls this. You got an attack, so you can make the attack really. But as you can hear, this button here, you probably see me hit this button. I always mention this on every Polymoog video. That's a trick, because without the with it in the lock mode, it's going to sit here and just kind of start droning just because of the nature of the beast. It's the way they design the envelope generators, the contour generator. So you can kind of hear it droning here now just a little bit. If I hit this button, it cleans up. And basically what this is for is if when you get the poly pedal, you'll want to go to manual mode and you can use the sustain switch of your poly pedal. This is just a way it actually looks at the sustain control on your contour generator when it's in lock mode. So the sustain control is actually doing that. You can see that versus that. And of course you also got your dynamic setup as well, so we can actually adjust our dynamic response. So if we want it to be a little faster than what we've got, we can go here. So as you can hear, you get something like that. And that's just using the keyboard dynamics. Basically all that does is it just offsets the dynamic response of how hard you have to hit the note. That's really what that does. So that's your envelope generators, that's your filters. Let's see if I'm thinking if there's anything else I left out. Your filter does track the keyboard. I will show you that right quick. So if we go here, we can turn this up. It might be hard to hear. The external glide circuit works for your filter keyboard control. So you can kind of actually get that kind of wah-wah effect when you use that. These things sound really great. I love the sound of the Polymoog. There's not really any other synth that captures quite this sound. It's very unique, and I really enjoy restoring these things as well. But Manny, once again, I appreciate you letting me restore this thing for you, and I really do appreciate it. And I'll get this thing boxed up here and ready to go out to you. But thanks again, really do appreciate it. And guys, for watching, thanks for watching. Take care.